Hey guys, it is your favorite soap insider, and I am telling you, my jaw hit the floor when I read these upcoming episodes. We need to talk about Jacinda Bracken and the absolute nightmare she is orchestrating for Willow Kane. I have been following this show for years, and I can tell you right now, this is one of the most sinister, diabolical plots we have ever seen on daytime television. You guys know I always bring you the juiciest spoilers, and this one is a massive doozy. It involves a spiked cup of iced coffee, a horrific, life threatening car crash, and a framing job so perfectly executed it will make your head spin. If you ask me, the writers are pushing Willow to the absolute brink of insanity, and I am here to break down every single heartbreaking detail for you. Right now, the tension on the show is so thick you could cut it with a knife. Willow Kane has been playing with absolute fire, aligning herself with the dangerous Jack Brennan and trying to force Michael Corinthos to yield full custody of their children. She has been parading around Port Charles acting like this saintly, untouchable congresswoman, but behind closed doors, she is desperate, panicked, and completely cornered. We all know she was recently framed for Jordan Ashford's hit and run by Brooklyn Quartermain, and she barely escaped that legal nightmare by the skin of her teeth. But, guys, that was just child's play compared to what is coming down the pipeline. Jacinda Bracken has been watching from the sidelines, growing increasingly jealous and frustrated with Willow's constant presence in Michael's life. According to my insider leak, Jacinda has hatched an independent, incredibly shady plan, and she is about to execute it with terrifying precision. The nightmare begins at the Metro Court pool. Jacinda takes matters into her own hands and secretly slips a powerful, mind altering narcotic into Willow's iced coffee. It is a terrifying scene to read because Willow is completely oblivious to the danger lurking in her cup. She is just going about her day, completely unaware that her drink has been spiked with something that will destroy her life. There is a heart stopping, breath catching moment in the leak script where little Wiley almost takes a sip of the drugged coffee. Can you even imagine? My heart stopped just reading it. Thankfully, Willow stops him just in time before the cup touches his lips, saving the little boy from a lethal dose. But the relief is painfully short-lived, because Willow proceeds to drink the entire drugged beverage herself. Within minutes, the heavy narcotics take hold of her system, and the transformation is absolutely chilling to witness. The leaked script describes Willow feeling the effects rapidly and overwhelmingly. She becomes completely disoriented, but instead of passing out immediately, she enters this euphoric, manic, highly impaired state. She is happily dancing to the door, completely high out of her mind, and she grabs her car keys. Ladies, this is where my heart dropped into my stomach. She is in absolutely no condition to walk, let alone operate a 2-ton vehicle, but in her drug-induced haze, she thinks everything is perfectly fine. She happily gathers up Wiley and little Amelia, preparing to drive them to the arcade. It is a chilling display of a mother unknowingly putting her own beloved children in grave mortal danger. Now, here is where the tragedy truly unfolds, and the stakes are raised to life or death levels. Nina Reeves, who has been desperately trying to protect her daughter from all the recent chaos, arrives and realizes that something is horribly, horribly wrong. Nina can see that Willow is not acting like herself at all. Her eyes are glazed over, her movements are erratic and clumsy, and she is completely out of touch with reality. Um, Nina immediately tries to intervene. She tries to physically stop Willow from getting behind the wheel. She begs and pleads with her daughter to hand over the keys, screaming that she is not safe to drive. But Willow, fueled by the heavy narcotics and her deep-seated, underlying resentment towards Nina, absolutely refuses to listen. A desperate physical struggle ensues between mother and daughter. Despite Nina's frantic efforts, Willow manages to overpower her, forces the terrified kids into the car, and aggressively starts the engine. Guys, the upcoming episodes are going to feature a massive, catastrophic car crash that will leave the entire town of Port Charles reeling. Nina, in a desperate, heroic bid to save her grandchildren and her daughter, either jumps into the car at the last second or tries to physically stop it from the outside as Willow slams her foot on the gas pedal. The result is absolute, unmitigated devastation. The car careens wildly out of control, tires screeching against the pavement before ending in a horrific, ear-shattering accident. The leaked details are grim and bloody. Willow, Nina, Wiley, and Amelia are all involved in this terrifying wreck. The visual of that twisted metal, the shattered glass everywhere, with Nina and those innocent children caught in the violent crossfire of Jacinda's twisted revenge plot, is going to have us all in absolute tears. It is a nightmare scenario that no mother should ever have to face, and Willow is the one sitting in the driver's seat. When the PCPD arrives on the scene, likely led by Harrison Chase or Police Chief Anna Devane, the evidence is going to be incredibly damning. First responders will find Willow unconscious behind the wheel, visibly intoxicated or heavily impaired by narcotics. The police and paramedics will inevitably draw her blood at General Hospital, and it is going to come back positive for heavy, illegal drugs. All the initial evidence at the crash site will point directly to Willow Kane being a reckless, unfit mother who drove under the influence and nearly killed her entire family. And the most terrifying part of this entire ordeal, Willow will not have a single shred of a defense. She genuinely will not remember what happened, how she got into the car, or how those heavy drugs got into her system. She will unknowingly create a massive mountain of evidence against herself. From the outside perspective of the law, it looks like she willingly took drugs, willingly put her vulnerable kids in the back seat, and willingly drove recklessly into a catastrophic crash. How can she possibly prove her innocence when she does not even know she was poisoned at the Metro Court? If you ask me, this is where Jacinda Bracken proves herself to be a master manipulator of the highest order. While Willow is being loaded onto a stretcher, bleeding and facing severe criminal charges and the permanent loss of her children, Jacinda will be standing off to the side, playing the innocent, concerned bystander. She will probably rush straight to Michael Corinthos' side at the hospital, offering him a comforting shoulder to cry on while secretly celebrating her wicked victory. Jacinda is making sure that Willow is the only one who takes the fall for this tragedy. She is erasing her own tracks perfectly, leaving Willow to face the wrath of the law, the fury of the Corinthos family, and the devastating, soul-crushing guilt of injuring her own children. Let's talk about the custody ramifications, because they are absolutely massive and will change the landscape of the show forever. Willow was just plotting with Jack Brennan to force Michael to yield full custody of Wiley and Amelia. Now, the tables have violently and permanently turned. Michael Corinthos is going to be absolutely enraged. The wrath of a Corinthos is nothing to play with. When he finds out that Willow drove high with his children in the car and caused a massive wreck, he is going to unleash a legal war the likes of which Port Charles has never seen. Diane Miller will have an absolute field day with this case in family court. Willow is going to lose all her parental rights in the blink of an eye. She will be painted by a judge as an unstable, drug-addicted danger to her kids. Jacinda's trap is designed not just to hurt Willow physically, but to completely obliterate her life, strip her of her motherhood, and permanently remove her from Michael's orbit. It is a flawless, evil execution of character assassination. Now, guys, I have to share my personal theory on this, because something is really bothering me about this whole setup. I know Jacinda wants Willow out of the picture, but I have to wonder, is she really capable of orchestrating something this diabolical and flawless all by herself? I suspect there is a hidden puppet master pulling Jacinda's strings from the shadows. Could it be Tracy Quartermain, who has been openly wishing for Willow's downfall and has the resources to supply untraceable drugs? Or maybe it is someone from Jen Sidwell's dangerous camp, using Jacinda as a pawn to get back at the Corinthos family in the most painful way possible? I firmly believe that while Jacinda physically planted the drugs in the iced coffee, someone else supplied them and fed her the sinister idea. The execution is just too perfect, too ruthless for a standalone jealous girlfriend. We also absolutely must look at what this will do to Willow psychologically. She has spent years meticulously cultivating this image of the perfect mother, the perfect wife, the saintly nurse, and the upstanding congresswoman. To wake up in a cold hospital bed, battered and bruised, facing hard prison time, and being told she almost killed her own children, it will completely break her mind. Furthermore, we have to remember the historical context here. Willow was just recently accused of a hit and run involving Jordan Ashford. Even though Brooklyn framed her for that, the police already have Willow on their radar as a potential vehicular menace. This new crash will make her look like a repeat, unrepentant offender to the PCPD and the district attorney. As we head into sweeps week, this storyline is going to reach its absolute climax. The leaked script hints at a massive, explosive confrontation at General Hospital. Michael is going to scream at Willow in her hospital room, legally banning her from ever seeing Wiley and Amelia again. Nina will be fighting for her own life in the ICU, unable to testify that Willow was acting completely out of character before the crash. And what about Jack Brennan? Will the head of the WSB step up and use his vast spy resources to uncover the truth, maybe finding hidden security footage from the Metro Court? Or will he completely abandon Willow now that she has become a massive radioactive liability to his own operations? The evidence against Willow is going to be incredibly overwhelming, and Jacinda's dark secret might just stay buried for months, leaving Willow to rot in a prison cell while Jacinda plays stepmom to her kids. This is soap opera storytelling at its absolute finest and most cruel. Willow Kane is walking straight into a meticulously planned trap, and Jacinda Bracken is about to destroy her entire existence with a single cup of iced coffee. I am telling you, these upcoming episodes are going to be a roller coaster of emotions, and you will not want to miss a single second of the heartbreak. So, what do you guys think? Is Jacinda acting alone, or is someone far more dangerous pulling the strings behind the scene? And more importantly, will Willow ever be able to prove her innocence and get her children back, or has she finally lost Michael and her family forever? Drop your thoughts, theories, and outrage in the comments below, because I know you ladies have a lot to say about this.